Hello and welcome to the season 2 of Techforce podcast show. I'm your host Shivani. Well, NFTs, Metaverse, and Web3 is something that we're going to talk about today. Gaming to fashion to music to now even banking industry is entering the metaverse. What is it? Why Web3 is something you should know about, and why is everyone talking about NFTs? Let's talk about it with our guest today, Paul.
Hey Paul, hi.
Hi, hi, Shivani. How are you this morning?
I'm good. How are you this morning?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. I'm so happy to be here.
All right. Well, welcome to the show. You are the first guest of season 2. How are you feeling about that?
Fantastic. I mean, it's a great honor to work with you and Techforce, which is a global sensation in this space, and so I'm very honored to be here.
Thanks for the kind words, Paul. Okay, can you tell our listeners what do you do?
Well, I own NFT Creative Group, which is an umbrella for several Web3 properties, and one being pfpdaily.com, which is a comic based on the NFTs that I've purchased. And we're on
Okay.
season 6 now. And also Web3 V2 and several other things in the space.
All right. For those of you who don't know what it is, I will be pinching the link in the comment section wherever I post this, and you will be getting the links of NFT Web 3 in the description of this podcast. So, well, like the metaverse is here, and I was just telling the audience before you joined the show, like we are already into metaverse, like we are slowly stepping up into metaverse. So, what are your views on metaverse? What all industries do you think can be completely disrupted by shifting in metaverse?
Well, I think everything is going to be disrupted. I don't see any business that is outside of the metaverse that will not one day be inside of the metaverse. Whether you're talking about a travel agency, you're going to need people. You're going to need to show people around the metaverse who don't know how to navigate inside there. So that's just a simple example, but you know um, I see every single piece of the outside world inside the metaverse. I think it's just going to disrupt everything.
Right. I mean, I just like the latest news where that this banks are also entering into metaverse, and I recently saw a cute video of people exploring how you can go to banks inside of metaverse and doing regular your transactions and like talking up to other people over there and doing the things that you do in a bank. So this is a really cool thing that is happening right now.
Yeah, absolutely. All the financial transactions that you have in real life will also take place in the metaverse. You will memorialize family members in the metaverse. It's a place where you can set up so many different businesses and things that are on the outside world. And the real interesting thing about it is things that can't exist in the real world, they can in the metaverse. QR codes are in the real world, but they become exponentially more important in a place like the metaverse because you can load so many more things into that QR code. And it's just going to be an amazing next few years to see where the technology takes us.
All right. Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like recently, there was an incident. Like there were recently two weddings that in India that happened in metaverse, and like two developers were getting married, and they gave the invitation in the form of a QR code or some code to the guest list, and the guest had to enter into like their wedding. There were dance performances and metaverse, and it was really cool to know that our regular life is now turning into like a whole another life where people can do and see and be who they actually wanted to be.
Oh yeah, and it really is an experiential kind of thing, so that you experience it in a new way, but you also can continue to experience it because it doesn't necessarily go away ever. And so when you're talking about something like a wedding, now we look at photographs and video of a wedding. Well, weddings in the metaverse will live forever, and for hundreds of years, that information will be there. It's just an incredible time, uh, and Web3 is just changing everything.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's talk about NFTs for now. Like, we all know what NFTs are. Like, by now, everyone is aware about non-fungible tokens. So, like, why do you think that NFTs are the future? Like, what are the pros and cons of NFT world for artists and for the buyers? Like, both.
Well, as my friend Shauna says, and another friend Richard talks about, an NFT is really just buying a link. I mean, at the end of the day, an NFT is you purchase a link on the blockchain to whatever property that you have. The pro is there are honest people that will give you exactly what you're looking at. The
Yeah,
con is you can also buy an NFT that looks one way and receive a NFT in your wallet that is completely different than what you thought you purchased. And so,
right.
as with the real world, you have nefarious characters, and it translates into the NFT world. There was an article that was talking about um, this NFT that was released that was supposed to be this one picture, and when the person bought it and they got it in their wallet, it was a totally different picture. And that's kind of a con of NFTs. That said, ultimately the NFT world as we know it, which is a consumer business, is going to be a B2B play. And that's really
Right.
when NFTs are going to take off, because let's say the copy machine that you need paper for, you will buy an NFT of the paper from the paper company. It will live on the blockchain. That will be your receipt, and you will receive the paper that you purchased from them. So I think everything is going, business to business is going into NFTs at some point. Now it's really early. I've tried to work with businesses on this, but it's really early for them to understand. You can have a paper receipt for, let's say, the paper, the copy paper that we're talking about, to prove that you bought it, but it doesn't give the same amount of proof as living on the blockchain. So when you buy that paper for your copy machine and you have it as an NFT living on the blockchain, that changes everything. And the entire supply chain of the entire world is going to be affected when business to business gets into the NFT business, if that makes sense.
Right, it does make sense. Like currently, the market cap of NFT is like way off the roof. The
Yeah.
NFTs from say characters to a simple drawing made by a child, right? Like I recently saw an NFT. It was a simple drawing that we make in schools, and that was listed on OpenSea, and like people were like someone wanted to mint like his or her child's NFT. Like,
Right. Well, I tell you, I've talked to a couple of people about that. Like, I would like to take let's say Mrs. Morgan's third grade class, and have them draw something and then mint that something as an NFT. They could make money and have a college tuition paid for by the time that they graduated high school. If the NFT could sell and sell again and sell again, and that is one of the pros of NFTs, is typically there is a commission after the sale. You continue to make money sale after sale after sale. And so when it comes to the pros of an NFT, especially in the consumer world, you can make money the rest of your life on something you did in third grade. And so, we've been talking to some people about that, taking a couple of classes, third grade, second grade, just children, and using that as a long term experiment for like the next 10 to 15 years to see what would happen if we could pay their college and they could live financially secure based on something that they did in third grade. It would just be interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. But like talking about that, like isn't it a problem that like NFT minting is a bit expensive for the artists? Like how can we solve this problem? Because I've been looking at the people who are new into this thing. They face like, okay, the gas fee is too high, the minting is really expensive. What about I want to enter the digital world, but they are not able to. So, what do you think we can do here as like different businesses and as we are marketing NFTs and we are like approaching them also to enter into digital world. So, how we can help them?
Well, one thing you have to consider when it comes to, if you're a small digital artist, you've already bought the software that you need in order to create the art that you do on the computer. In the real world, you have canvas and paint and pencils and easel and all of the things, and those are very, very expensive. By the time you add up becoming, quote unquote, becoming an artist in the real world, it's expensive. It's not. I wouldn't think it's more or less expensive than a digital artist putting something as an NFT. Minting can cost a lot when gas is high, especially if they're on the Ethereum blockchain. But the Polygon Matic blockchain is a lot less expensive. Um,
Yeah,
but it's they're just not as popular. Ethereum was the first one out, and just about everything is built on the Ethereum network as far as an NFT. And those tend to have the more trusted, how do you say, they tend to be more trusted as an NFT than something on
right.
Poly or something else. So, you know, my advice to small digital artists who have an NFT, when you create something, you're really excited about it. Like when I was writing songs, I would finish a song and I would think, man, this is the greatest song of ever. I've got to go to the recording studio and get it recorded. Well, maybe wait for the price to come down on recording for,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, you can really build yourself up into thinking, I just created the greatest piece of art in the world. I've got to release it right now. When if you just wait 7 days, it might cost you a couple $100 less, and you still have it in the public. So, that's a personal decision for people. But I don't necessarily see that minting is going to be less expensive. It could, because competition is definitely heating up between Coinbase coming on board, looks rare, OpenSea, of course. Um, they're going to have to compete with each other, which means that they're going to have to compete on the fees that they charge. And so, it's just a matter of time.
we all will be competing with each other, providing the less price for everyone to be on it. From Web 1, Web 2, from Web 3 to Web 3.0 right now. We have evolved the online world in a very, very every 10 years, I would put like 10 years as a round figure, right? Like every 10 years, there is something magnificent happening in like in the internet world or online, right? So currently there was a discussion that I saw that there is a difference. Some people say that Web3 and Web 3.0 are different, and some people are saying they both are the same thing. It's just a like a numbers thing. So what are your views on that? Like, is Web3 and Web 3.0 different or same?
I Web3 is the extension to the consumer. So if you are utilizing, buying, or selling NFTs, or you're interacting in the metaverse, that is Web 3. Web 3.0, to me, is the professional business side of it where investors are involved. These are the people that are spending their money in order to build the Web3 that you use. So when you hear investors talk, they talk about, I invest in Web 3.0. When you hear consumers talk, they're like, I'm going to the metaverse. It's Web 3. And so that's kind of how I see it. I don't see any difference between the two other than the relationship that it has between the consumer and the professional or investor putting it in there. You know, Web 1 was supposed to give us something. Web 2 was supposed to give us something, and all Web 2 has done is take away from, our privacy, and, they're just selling everything. Web 3 is a new foundation where we own our own privacy again. And so I think it's moving in the right direction, but I don't see any difference other than the consumer side of Web 3 and the business side of Web 3.0. I think they're both the same. It's just how someone is utilizing them.
Okay. So like, can you explain Web3 to a beginner who doesn't know the difference?
Okay. Um, Currently, a beginner is using their internet, and everywhere they go and everything that they do is tracked, and their personal information is sold to other companies that can therefore track you more and uh, sell you more stuff, and you're bombarded by ads and everything. Web3 gives you the ability to take care of your own personal identity, and you now own yourself. That's the promise of Web3 and the blockchain. Once it's on the blockchain and you own it and it's in your wallet, it is yours. And so, even though Web3 is a part of Web 2 in the sense that we still use the regular internet in order to traverse all of this, Web 3 is gaining back control of your privacy.
Okay, let's jump. Like, I recently read that it has been known that 10% of global GDP will be stored in blockchain by like 2027 or by 2030. Okay, come back to NFT. Can an average person buy NFT, like as a common person who has no idea? Okay, like they do not have any idea about what art is, what a digital art is, why people are buying a picture of an ape doing some
Hmm.
weird things, right? Why people
Yeah.
buying a picture of a cat, right? Like, and these pictures are being sold, like they are being sold for in millions right now.
Yes. Anyone can buy an NFT. It's a very simple process in a lot of ways. It's no different than shopping at Amazon if you're on the right marketplace. The thing is, people often see the apes and the people making a lot of money, and they think, okay, we'll become speculative about making money. Which one do I choose? Is it this NFT or that NFT? And my advice has always been, first do your own research, but buy what you like and you can live with. Because one of the problems that the NFT marketplace, is at times it's very illiquid. The people with apes can sell their ape pretty much at any time. But most of the NFTs that are on the market, you could spend 4 to 6 or 9 months trying to sell. And so the best thing is to not buy something that you don't personally love. And don't buy it for speculative reasons. But yes, the average Joe can buy an NFT easily, set up a MetaMask wallet, transfer some Ethereum to it, go on OpenSea or LooksRare, and you bada bing, pick out the one that you love. pick
Right,
out the pick out the NFT. It's really really simple. It's not complicated.
right. Get it. Of course. Well, as the metaverse is already here and like world is exploring new opportunities, what do you think the next 5 years has stored in for us?
I The next 5 years is going to be a land rush. It's going to be a land grab. I think we used to talk about early adopters in the business world, or the people that had the network effects. So, these are all Web 1 and Web 2 terms, but they also apply here. The next 5 years is just going to be exponential growth. And the people who are early, like we are now, are very, very early. It's time to start building your brand. It's time to start building something in the metaverse, because even if it seems like it's going to fail for the first 4 or 5 years, by the time year 5 comes, this thing is going to be real. And you will already have planted the seed of everything that you need uh, to get going. You know what I mean? And so in 5 years, I think we're going to probably double every year the amount of people interested in the metaverse and Web3 until the point where it's most of the world.
Right. Like NFTs is like taking up on the gaming industry. It is taking up like celebrities are into it. Everyone is trying to, take the first step ahead. Like, okay, you know what? Let me do it. Like, I'll be the first in the game, right? So yeah, the 5 years are
Yeah.
going to be great. Yeah. Yeah, we will be attending all the concerts online, sitting on a couch, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when you think about celebrities and artists and musicians and things of that nature, uh, celebrity really does drive adoption at the end of the day. And so when Snoop Dogg buys a Bored Ape, other people
Yeah.
take note and say, Snoop has a Bored Ape. But when Snoop has his own metaverse and releases his NFT in the metaverse, like he just did a couple of weeks ago, I guess it's been a couple of
Yeah.
weeks ago.
Yes,
Uh,
yes, yeah.
yeah, then everybody starts looking, wait, we've got what? Okay, now we're moving forward. Celebrity is a way to get quicker adoption, but there are people. I love this analogy. Your favorite band that no one's ever heard of will still be your favorite band even after everybody's heard of them. So
Yeah,
there's a whole ecosystem. There's a whole ecosystem of people that are into various bands, and I kind of see these 10,000 NFT collections as being like the demo recording that this band released, and they're hoping to get a major label record deal and become a global sensation. But first, they've got to sell their 10,000 copies, of their
yeah,
demo. And so it's really interesting. Most of the music and entertainment space will be going to NFTs. There's no question about it. Uh,
yes. Yeah, like exactly. Like currently, this time it's all about building your community, right? If you are an artist, start building your community, and the next 5 or I'll say 10 years will be the best years for you, right? Like
yeah,
community is everything now.
Yeah, community is everything, and I'm personally really jealous of these people that have the ability to grow a community as well as they do. I mean, some people are absolute rock stars in growing community, and some are. Myself personally, I'm just a storyteller. I'm a brand guy. I I work with founders to make sure that they just stay on message all the time. But there are people where that can build community, and it's impressive. It really is. Community is everything in the Web3 world, and the bigger your community or more cohesive your community, the better shot you have at becoming a success. There's no question about it.
Yeah, right. Uh, so exactly. So like the audience who are still wondering about whether they should start investing in crypto, they should buy the dip or they should invest in this NFT as it is trending, or should they jump into the trend, or like of course, like even if they're doing the research, many people enter it and they fail. Like there are losses everywhere, and
Yeah.
due to various
Well,
circumstances, yeah.
it's funny because there was kind of a joke or a meme going around that when Thanksgiving was here and all the family gathered together, the crypto market was doing okay. And, all the prices were up and everybody was kind of exuberant at that particular moment. So, how many family members got talked into buying, let's say, Ethereum at 4,000, only to wake up 2 weeks later and it's at 3,000? And, 3 months later, it's at 2,700. So, it's
Uh,
very tough. It's because you can lose a lot of money. You can get liquidated very fast. So, the best advice is to just don't put money in that you can't afford to lose. It's not Las Vegas or a gambling place. It is a real investment. I have the firm belief that if you take a long term view and you have the ability, the financial ability to take a long term view, that in 5 years, as we were speaking about a minute ago, in 5 years, yes, Ethereum will probably be 10, 15. Now, this is not financial advice, but it's going to go up. The market always goes up. And so, uh, when talking to someone about getting in and wondering, should I follow this trend or should I jump on that trend, or no, just do your research, find something that you really, really love and buy it. But make sure that you have the liquidity that you need uh, to just leave it there. Just leave it there like a stock investment and don't touch it like a retirement account. Almost treat it like it's an IRA and a retirement account. Buy it, forget
right,
about it. Yeah.
right. Yeah, that's a good advice actually. And even like do a very deep research, even if you're entering into buying a little bit and into the crypto world or in any NFT or something like that. Just do the
Yeah.
core research.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
great advice.
yeah. It was really great talking with you, Paul, about all the new things and the school stuff. And on an ending note, I would like can you say a favorite quote of yours or something, a movie dialogue you love, like you would like to share with our audience?
Well, I one of my favorite quotes is, I guess, from myself, and I don't want to be that guy, but I always like to say, in order to be seen, you must first be noticed. And as a storyteller or a person that works with other companies and their brands, it's an important lesson to remember. You stay on your message, and in order to be seen, you must first be noticed. So it's all about getting just a little bit of attention, because it's almost as if you're driving around the city and you look over and you say, "Wow, I never knew that was there," or "I never knew that was there." People don't see things. So that is definitely a favorite quote of mine. It's something that I talk about a whole lot with customers, clients. In order to be seen, you must first be noticed. I think it's very important for people to remember.
That's wonderful. Like if people are not noticing yourself in front of them, like a pop-up. and make them look into what you are, what you have to say, what you have to do, what your values are, and then it will be good, right?
Right. Exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Yes. All right, Paul. It has been great talking with you about NFTs, Web3, and I would say Metaverse, of course. So, thank you so much for joining the show. It was really, really wonderful talking and discussing these things with you.
Yeah, I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. It was a great conversation and a lot of fun. Exactly what we hope for.
Yeah, exactly. We'll be inviting you for another podcast for another topics. Maybe just because of this new things always coming up in blockchain world, I will be definitely reaching out to you for more podcast.
Sounds great. Sounds great.